y'all. I am on my way home from work. I had to stop off real quick and go to the grocery store. But I have a question for you. And this stems from a conversation that me and a couple of my coworkers had last night. So there is a myth that as a new graduate nurse, you must do Med-Surg before going to labor and delivery, or any other specialty for that matter, right? So it was pretty interesting hearing the different points of views as far as my coworkers. Like, we have some older nurses, a lot of new nurses, and we just talked about the fact that a lot of the older nurses, they do believe this, and a lot of professional organizations also believe that you have to do Med-Surg first. Like, it gives you that foundational practice that you need in order to be a strong nurse, right? So I was one of the nurses that's on the fence about the whole situation, right? So I feel like this: Med-Surg does give you a strong foundation, and it helps you to become more well-rounded, as far as a nurse. But it also can be a place of like unwanted stress, or like the initiation of negative feelings towards your profession or your job, and once you have those negative feelings, it kind of trickles down onto the way you practice. So not necessarily treating your patients wrong, but it'll be more so like, I'm ready to go home. You're always checking your watch. You want to do the bare minimum, and when you can go well above and beyond for your patients, right? You can be doing the necessary things that, as far as like education and, just taking those extra things, I don't know how long you guys been following me, but I did a video on, basically my journey through nursing. So the very first one was how I became a labor and delivery nurse. So I'm going to link the card above, and then I'm going to put it in the description box below. Don't link the card now. Watch the video and then come back. And the second one I did about 2 videos ago, and it was basically my journey through nursing, how I became a midwife. So watch those 2. Click the links below. Why you down there? Go ahead, hit the subscription button. If you're not following me, why not? Come on. You don't want to miss out on any of this content. But anywho, I started out in a cardiac unit, and I didn't have a very good experience. It wasn't all bad. However, it could have been better. I was like super duper stressed. I think it all stemmed from, ever since nursing school, I wanted to be a labor and delivery nurse. So with that being said, they didn't have any positions available, and I do what all other nurses do. I get my foot in the door. I take any job that I could get at the time, right? So and I hated cardiac, and I hated neuro in school. So it would be crazy that I would, accept a position on this unit. But anywho, I love the unit as far as like my coworkers. I learned so much from the nurses and the techs, and it was great. My manager was good. The floor ran like a well-oiled machine. However, labor and delivery was what I wanted. So every day that I went to work, I was miserable. And when I tell you guys I was miserable, like, I cried in every room that wasn't a patient's room. So I'm talking the med room, the locker room, the break room, the bathroom, the medication room, all the rooms. I was crying. I would cry the night before I knew I had to go to work. So it could be Sunday night and I didn't have to work till Monday night. Just the simple fact that I knew that the next day was coming and I had to go to work. That's how bad it was, y'all. It got very bad. Like, as a new grad nurse coming on the floor and it's 6 patients, I'm talking, we had medication passes at like 8, at 10, at 12, at 2, at 4, and each person was getting like 6 medications each. Like, come on now. Like, but let me tell you something, it made me a very strong nurse, because at the end of the day, Your girl farm was on point. I'm talking, yes, we had a lot of cardiac patients, and that was the main patients, but we had like the overflow Med-Surg patients would come to our unit. So I had like a multitude of diagnoses, a whole bunch of medications that I learned and really learned, like not from a card that I learned in nursing school. Like I really had to know these medications to be able to give it. So when I tell you I was a strong nurse, at the end of my very first year there, I had critical thinking skills, time management. I was able to notice like red flags on my patients, or critical changes in my patients, like this. I'm talking about, I was understanding disease processes, and it wasn't just really learning it from the book. Like I was really able to grasp these things and able to teach. Like, come on now, like not only was I precepting, but I was able to really teach my patients because I understood what was going on, right? So was I happy? No, I wasn't. I really wasn't. I was not happy. I would cry. Like I said, I would cry. So after a year, I transferred. After a year, some change, I transferred back to labor and delivery. I transferred to labor and delivery, and even though I was learning something new, and let me turn this down. Even though I was learning something new, and I wasn't as competent in these other things, I loved what I was doing, right? I was working with a whole new population and a whole new, I'm not going to say a whole new set of diagnosis or disease processes, but disease processes work different in pregnant women. So looking back on it, if I had the opportunity to go straight to labor and delivery right out of nursing school, would I have done it? Yes. But with hindsight, that I would have had to work even harder. Not saying that it can't be done, because we have a whole bunch of new grads on labor and delivery and they do amazing. However, without my foundation in cardiac or Med-Surg, I would have had to work twice as hard. So I would have had to work hard to become a good labor and delivery nurse, but also I would have had to learn how to be a nurse in general. I would have had to learn time management and critical thinking skills, and how to communicate with providers and small things like that. How to notice medication errors or orders, or errors in the way things are ordered for a patient. Things like that, and how to make suggestions on what type of services they may need when leaving the hospital or while they're in the hospital. So many different things that I did learn. However, I still would have went to labor and delivery. I really would have. So do I think you have to do Med-Surg before doing a specialty? I'm still on the fence, but no, you don't have to, but it will be beneficial. It will be to your benefit to get a good foundation. But at the same time, like I said, if you don't, just know that you have to work twice as hard. You have to work twice as hard. But yeah, the conversation was so good. So let's start a conversation in the let's start a conversation below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that you should do Med-Surg before doing a specialty? And tell me why. And if you think that you don't have to, leave some tips below on what the new grads could do if they chose to go into a specialty before. Yeah, so like I said, I'm going home. I'm going to run in the store, but I did want to pose this question before I go in the house, because it's going to be a long day, and I'm going to want to get some sleep, so I know I'm not going to do anything, so I had to upload for you guys. I'll try to I'll try to vlog a little bit later, but if I don't hold it against me. I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget, stay focused, stay fabulous. And speaking of that, follow me on Instagram, FocusedandFabulousRN. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.